Good morning, traders. This is Brad Matheny. Today is October 8th, Tuesday. We are looking at a low price as of yesterday's closing price level. Remember, yesterday was a gap up lower pattern. So we had drawn and I had shown you that I expected a lower price overall. Today's move is a gap up, sorry, a gap breakaway in trending mode. Now, what we're looking at here was, if you remember, we had the go flat trigger early in the morning off of a potential gap up, which never materialized. Then we had downward price move all day long. About midday, I came in here near these lows actually, suggested that it looks like the markets were holding in this area, and this could be the low of the day. Immediately after that, the Fed came out and the bond auction happened, and the markets dropped about, let's take a look here, probably not more than about 1%. Yeah, about a third of a percent, about $3. So I was a little early with my buy trigger here, expecting the markets to hold in these lows, roughly 570. We ended up down here at 567.82. We are currently at 570.03. We're right back into my buy area on a nice little move to the upside. Today's move, like I said, is a gap up. Come back over here, is a gap breakaway. So, we had the gap up lower pattern. And again, just ignore the fact that I zoned in on this low thinking that that was the base. The pattern played out exactly as it should have, played ultimately down into these levels. Now we've got a nice little gap up to the upside, which is perfect. It's going to lead us potentially up into this 573 to 574 area. That's going to be a pretty good, in my opinion, move to the upside, possibly from where we're at here, maybe a little higher. Yeah, that's only 0.7%. I mean, in reality, we could probably see it get up to 575, closer to 1%, maybe even higher. I mean, if we get up to my original expectations, that'd be a 1.37%. That'd be almost $8 higher on the SPY. We'll see. I mean, personally, if I were to kind of guess at where I think price is going to go, it'd probably be right in this 575 area. So we're looking at, again, go flat, buy area anywhere off of these lows, trying to catch this move up here. Now, remember, we weren't short yesterday. Could have been, but I just recommended a go flat, get into a neutral position, and try to buy into these lows, trying to catch this move up here to the upside, trying to sell up here. So that's what we're essentially playing through the roadmap right now. Okay, we're really just trying to buy into these lows. Let me get rid of that Fibonacci level and try to catch that move higher. So we'll see how it plays out. Even if you had bought here or bought down here, or bought down here, even if you had bought first thing in the morning over here, let's see how this plays out. Let's see if we get any type of a reaction to the upside, rolling back down into our buy pattern here. So wherever we end today, let's say we end at this yellow line, then what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at selling the next day's open over here, wherever it happens to open, and watching it roll down, trying to buy into this area where the buy here area is. So it's a matter of understanding that price can move in its own range, but I'm kind of mapping out those buy and sell zones. So right now, the S&P is up, up at 569.93. It was up a little higher earlier. We still have many hours to go. It's 4 o'clock in the morning here. We have 2.5 hours to go before the market opens. Why am I up so early? Well, it just happens to be that's my schedule. So we'll see how this plays out. If my analysis is correct, we're going to get a pretty good move. We're going to get a good sized rally to the upside, followed by a bit of a pullback on Wednesday, followed by a big rally on Thursday, Friday, and it's going to play out beautifully for skilled traders. I mean, this is going to be one heck of a week for a skilled trader. Okay, let's take a look at the QQQ. We have the same setup. Sorry, got the sniffles a little bit today. So we're coming into that same type of setup. You can see how we're off of the patterns here. So here's our pullback pattern. Here would be our gap up breakaway up into this area. Here would be our pullback. Here would be our carryover up into the next 2 days. So there you go. There's your move. And again, this would have been a technically go flat trigger. And this would have been a buy here trigger or buy down in this area. Would have tried to buy into the lows. Then we would be looking for a sell here trigger. Then we would have been looking for a buy here trigger. And then a sell here trigger. So where we're looking at, guys, is like I said, we're basically playing out the patterns. So it's nothing too, like I said, I read the patterns. I'm reading this week. I read this pattern is lower. It's a carryover, gap up lower, telling you it's going to go down. Then we have a gap breakaway in trending mode, telling you it's going to go up. Then we have a counter trend breakaway, telling you that it's likely going to go down. Then we have a carryover in carryover mode, telling you that it's likely going to go up because the trend is bullish. And then we have a trend mode and inside breakaway in trending mode back into bullish. And this is all basically after this base momentum and rally pattern on the weekend. I can clearly try to explain this as a rally phase. So once we get out here into Thursday, we get to Thursday, Friday into rally. And then we move over here into Monday's pattern, which is a gap potential and trending mode, would likely continue to see it rally. And gap potential, gap reversal in counter trend mode. So that's again a rally. So there you go. We're looking at maybe 500, 504 in the Qs by about a week from now. So here's Monday right here. I went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So maybe 500, 504 about 7 days from now. That is a good solid from where we're at right now. Well, roughly, let's go to 503, 504. From where we're at right now, that's a 4.13% rally phase for the markets. Not bad, if my analysis is correct. Okay, so let's take a look at gold. Gold is moving into, oh, beautiful rally. Beautiful, beautiful rally. Okay, so we had looked at an area of trying to buy near the lows yesterday. So this is an hourly bar. And the whole purpose of this was to look for that buy sell mode over here. We didn't get much of a rally phase yesterday, even though the gold cycle patterns suggested we were going to get a gap potential move on the 7th. Now we're at an 8th in top resistance. We're getting a good solid basing. We didn't get that rotation. This was mostly yesterday. This is moving into the day. We had a little bit of a deeper low rotation here into these lows. Sorry, trying to get off these Fibonacci levels. And we're starting to see a good solid upside move here. Okay. I think what we're going to do is, and maybe I can highlight what those are. It looks like they are Fibonacci. So I'll just get rid of some of them. There we go. A little bit better. And where we're at with this now, folks, is we're going to likely move up from these levels into this resistance channel right here, this flagging, and then break out to the upside. So as a gold trader here, we had our opportunity here with this high. This was kind of like the peaking pattern here, but we went back in here and zoned. I put out a video yesterday highlighting this zoning and how we would likely move into kind of a flagging formation out into this area. It looks like after a bit of deep zoning this morning, it looks like we're getting upward trending. Gold is moving higher. It's off half a dollar, 6/10 of a dollar. And it looks like it's going to try to rally back up and zone in this 2670 to 2674 area before attempting to make a big move. Now, remember, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday. So Wednesday is where we see the big move to the upside. Okay, it is channeling fairly closely to what I thought would happen here. You can see these kind of moves. So here's the rally up, the peak, the roll down, the base actually occurred here, the roll higher occurred here a little early, and then it rolled down into this low. This is going to be our basing pattern here. We're rolling into that basing pattern right here, and then we're going to see it try to roll higher. Now, this next move could be pretty explosive. So get ready. And like I said, watch what gold does here. I'll bet you we're going to end up, up in this 2675 area, maybe 2680 area. Might be a pretty good area to pull some profits, especially if you load it up back over here. But remember, about 2680, 2682 would be a good area to pull profits. And then we're going to come down probably to 2670, 2669, probably try to base in this area before another big rally up to 2710. So that's a good move. That's a heck of a move from here to here. $42. That's a really solid move. Okay, silver. Let's take a look at silver. Silver is trying to build a deep low base. Would love to see silver make a big move here, but it's not going to move until after gold does. So we need to see gold forming a good solid base. We have a lot of support in this zone. You can see it here. It really comes down to like this rejection area here. So you've got a lot of very clean support here. And given what gold is potentially going to do, I highlighted this area about what I thought would likely happen, and you can see how it played out. Well, now I'll do the same thing over here. Try to just draw what I think is going to happen. So get rid of all my other drawings. And we will come right over here. Here's our weekend trend. We have that move up today, probably into this area, into tomorrow, moving a bit sideways, basing, and then moving slowly upward out of the channel. Now we'll probably get some rotation through here, maybe like that. But, you're looking at a pretty solid, I think, upward type of move in silver. It's just going to be a bit lagging compared to gold. So, really it's going to try to break above this level again. Really this level, 3250. And that's going to be a pretty big move when it does break that level. So we're just going to watch silver right now. Really holding above 31, 32 is pretty good. That's where real support is. This is a very deep low. If you wanted to trade gold and didn't really have the capital to trade the big boy contracts, this move right here in silver should carry up about 3.5%. Yep. Yep, right into that area, about 3.5, almost 4%. About $1.20. You've got about $1.20 upward move, maybe more, over the next 7 days in silver. About 3.5%. Could be a good move futures wise. Okay, lastly, Bitcoin. Oh no, it rolled down, just like I said. Okay, so we're going to see what's going on here. Here's an hourly chart of Bitcoin. Everything I've been showing you is hourly so far. Remember the excess phase peak pattern? Remember how I warned you that we were likely going to try to find resistance if we couldn't get above this level and roll back to the downside? Well, here we go, guys. We've broken out of the channeling, the flagging. We're on our way down, just like I predicted. And we're going to probably find support right over here in 61,500. And that support will probably get broken. About a 60-70% chance that this downward cycle trend is going to try to retest these lows. This is the come back over here off of this channel. This is the, we'll call this pullback low. This is a major low price area that that is going to be retested through this pullback. The phase, remember, the phase A of the pullback, I'll do it again for you, is a number 1 is the peak, a number 2 is flagging, a number 3 is the pullback away from flagging to come down and retest this low and establish potentially a new low. So number 3 means that we have to get down here. Okay. So that's, again, we have to get down into that lower level. That's what the breakdown of the flagging pattern actually suggests. Then, if I get rid of these levels, which are invalidation components. So now getting down here into this lower channel, which could potentially be much lower, folks. Remember, there's nothing saying that this is the bottom right here. Breaking down below this level right here could send us reeling all the way down into these levels or lower, because this is a referenced low point, this is a referenced low point, and this is a referenced low point as major lows. So we could be moving down to here or here or here on this breaking trend. Now, what would happen through this breaking downward trend is that we would break downward, just like we suggested here, attempt to move down into this lower area, and then possibly consolidate a bit before attempting to maybe break down into an ultimate low. So when we're looking at this pattern, and we're looking at how it's going to break down or potentially break down for Bitcoin, the excess phase peak pattern would play out like this if it plays out perfectly. Okay. If it played out absolutely perfectly, that's when you'd look at a breakdown here, coming down to this new lower low or lower, could come all the way down into here. You see how I've drawn this. So let me tell you, this is a very strong support resistance area from earlier. Try to make this red, darker red. And what we're looking at again, folks, is if the excess phase peak pattern comes out, it's likely going to, come into this area or this area and try to find support. And that's where this lower channel may be. So it's either going to be in this area, which would be our original support, or this area, or this area. And any of these levels is going to then base into a sideways formation and then break downward. And that could happen right before the election. I've drawn it literally right out here to the election day almost. So, again, this is going to be a very interesting move to play out. Let me come over here to 4 hours, try to get more data on the chart so you can actually see it. It's a beautiful excess phase peak pattern. And I mean, it's really moving into, flagging and channeling. You can see the channeling pattern here, the channeling pattern here. We move back into this apex zone here. which is why this level becomes so supportive and so important. I highlighted it back over here. I continue to draw things on here to just show you how support and resistance operates as zones. And once you see them, they're clear. Like here, why did I draw this yellow circles? Because it's right here at this support and resistance apex area. These apex areas are important. Same thing here, another apex area right here. Okay. And again, you can see how it played out, and we're right above that level right now. So, if we fail at these levels and get down below these levels, then we're really looking at, apex level here being tested, moving down to lower support, moving down to lower support, moving down potentially to lower support here, and then ultimate support way down here. And this is really ultimate support right now. This is the low range right here. This dark brown line, that is our ultimate support for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin gets below this level, 53,600, let's call it, then we have a big problem to the downside. Okay, so excess phase peak pattern playing out beautifully. If you remember, I bet yesterday, or I told you, because of this cycling, because of the most recent downward cycle trend, and because of the excess phase peak pattern, my assumption was that we were going to roll over. We have rolled. We have broken the flagging pattern. We are now in a downtrend. We'll see if it rejects anywhere in this area. So remember, it can reject anywhere in this area and rally up on out of this. So we need to watch for that rejection, but right now the trend is to the downside. So be aware, this is moving down just like I predicted. Okay, so now we are going to go back to the SPY. Nice long video this morning. And again, if you want to take a look at it here, get rid of this 5 way out here, take a look here, and you could argue, you really could, that, if I get rid of, well, let's come over here to a different chart. No, that's not going to work. So we'll come over here to a new template. Let's see, unnamed gold, cancel, load, unnamed gold. There we go. Go into the SPY. And let's go to 4 hour. Okay, auto scale, come back over here. So now you could argue that, hey, Brad, aren't we in an excess phase peak pattern here? Yeah, you could argue that we are in a very moderate excess phase peak pattern right here and breaking to the downside. Now, it doesn't have a substantial pullback, but it is an excess phase peak pattern. So we could watch this level for a breakdown. We could see a rolling breakaway pattern, which is what I expect to the upside to come in based on my SPY cycle patterns. But this is a excess phase peak pattern, very clearly setting up on the SPY. Okay, and it's, very clear to see that we have, and as I mentioned to you, they form everywhere. So we have, this is our resistance channel. We have, this is our support channel. We would then go back and look for previous support levels. We have one down here, carrying out over here. There we go. I hit the cap locks, and we have a deeper low. You can see this low rejection coming way down here. So if we look at this, and if we were out of this breakdown to fail to move higher today, okay, we would then expect this trend here to break down, try to find support here, consolidate, and then maybe attempt to come down to this area. Remember, we can get rejection here, we can get rejection here, or we can get rejection over here. So ultimately, this excess phase peak pattern is either going to reject upward here or here. But it is very important for you to understand that these excess phase peak patterns happen continually. Okay. And in a sense, I mean, I can come in here and show you that it's actually showing a different pattern that's a little more consolidated. So, I mean, we could draw this pattern up, coming down, flagging here, breaking down into lower consolidation. And then this would be our 3 moving down into 4 potentially here. So in a way, we have a slightly different setup here, which is a more intermediate type of a pattern. And I would call this, trying to get these all the same color, I would call this a moderate sideways slide right now. This is a consolidation. This is a flagging pattern. It looks like it has broken down. Looks like it has broken down. It's trying to find support. But remember, the SPY is moving into upper trending with my momentum breakaway. So consolidation into a momentum rally into upward trending would suggest that this is going to invalidate to the upside. It would suggest that this is going to base bottom and rally up into this 590, 595 area. Okay. A little longer than I expected, 26 minutes. All right, that's it. That's your roadmap for the day. We'll see how it plays out and go from there.